Hi everyone! Today's video is all about how to shift to the timeline of your best version, and you cannot miss a single second of this because it will truly change your life and the way you look at manifestation forever. Before we start, please consider subscribing to help our channel grow. Also, make sure to check the description for the links to the books I highly recommend and the free PDF about mirror hours to help you decode the signs from the field. Now, let's dive into how you can start accessing your highest reality right now. In this first part of our conversation, we're going to dive into how your reality works exactly like a radio and why you don't need to create your best version from scratch, you just need to learn how to tune into it. I want you to take a deep breath with me for a second and really let this sink in. The life you've been dreaming of, that version of you who is financially free, healthy, and deeply happy, is not something you are waiting for in the future. According to Bashar, that reality already exists right now. It's not coming towards you, it's already here, breathing in another frequency. Imagine for a moment that you are in your car, driving through the city. You have your radio on and you're listening to a station that's playing heavy, sad music that makes you feel anxious. You don't like the music. You want to hear something uplifting, something that makes you feel alive and prosperous. Now, do you stay in your seat, crying and begging the radio to change the song? Do you yell at the speakers, hoping that if you're angry enough, the jazz station will suddenly appear? Of course not. You simply reach out and turn the dial. The moment you change the frequency on the dial, the music changes. The jazz station was always there, occupying the exact same space in the air as the sad station. You didn't create the jazz music. You didn't have to wait for the radio tower to build a new signal. It was already present, vibrating in the invisible field around you. The only reason you weren't hearing it was that your receiver wasn't aligned with it. Manifestation is exactly like that. Your best version, the one where you have the career you love, the bank account that gives you peace of mind, and the relationships that fill your heart, is just another station on the dial of existence. If you're currently experiencing a life of struggle, or if you feel like you're constantly hitting a wall, it's not because the good life doesn't exist for you, it's because your internal dial is stuck on a frequency that is incompatible with what you want. You are tuned in to Scarcity AM while trying to hear the music of Abundance FM. Most of us were raised with this heavy, outdated idea that we have to build a bridge to our dreams through years of soul-crushing hard work and sacrifice. We think we are here, and our dream is over there, separated by a massive distance of time and effort. But what if I told you there is no distance? What if the only thing separating you from your best version is just a tiny click on the dial of your consciousness? The biggest mistake I see people making, and I've been there too, believe me, is trying to change the music of their lives by reacting to the current song. They look at their bank account and they get frustrated. They look at their lonely apartment and they feel sad. But here is the technical catch. Reacting to the station doesn't change the frequency. It actually locks you into it. When you focus on what's wrong, you are essentially pressing the stay button on that exact station. You are telling the universe, this is my station, please keep playing this track. Bashar teaches us something that sounds simple but is incredibly deep. The universe doesn't respond to the words that come out of your mouth. It doesn't care about your wish list or your vision board if your inner state is screaming something else. The universe responds to your vibrational signature. Think of this signature as your personal Wi-Fi signal. If your signal is, I am struggling, the only websites the universe can load for you are the same frequency.
Let's look at a real-life example to make this clearer. Think about someone who is constantly looking for a new job. They say they want a high-paying, exciting career, but every morning they wake up feeling defeated. They send out resumes with the energy of, no one is going to hire me anyway. When they walk into an interview, their shoulders are slumped and their internal dialogue is a loop of past failures. Their frequency is lack of opportunity. Even if the perfect job was right in front of them, they wouldn't see it. Or the employer wouldn't see them because their frequencies are on different channels. They are invisible to each other. To switch timelines, you have to be brave enough to change your frequency before the music changes. This is the part where people get confused. They say, Vanessa, I'll feel rich once I have the money. But that's like saying to the radio, I'll change the dial once you start playing the jazz. It's backwards. You have to provide the frequency first. You have to start vibrating at the level of the person who already has what you want. This isn't about faking it in a superficial way. It's about a deep internal shift in how you view yourself. The millionaire version of you isn't just rich. That version is confident, peaceful, and creative. You don't need $1 million to feel confident right now. You can access peace through meditation or a walk in the park today. You can choose to be the person who sees solutions instead of problems, starting this very minute. When you make that internal shift, you are literally moving your consciousness from one timeline to another. Imagine you are in a massive hotel with infinite rooms. You've been staying in a dark, cramped room in the basement. You've been complaining about the view for years. But the penthouse is already there. It's fully furnished. The sun is shining through the windows, and the fridge is stocked. You don't have to build the penthouse. You just have to get into the elevator and press the button for the top floor. The elevator is your emotional state. Every thought you have is a button you press. When you spend your day worrying about your debts, you are pressing the basement button over and over again. But when you choose to feel relief, when you find things to be grateful for, when you visualize your success with a feeling of "it is done," you are pressing the penthouse button. I remember a time when I was trying to launch a new project. I was doing everything right on the physical plane. I was working 12 hours a day, sending emails, making calls, but internally I was terrified of failing. I was vibrating fear, and no matter how hard I worked, everything fell through. It was only when I stopped, breathed, and decided to inhabit the frequency of success and service, regardless of the current results, that things started to move. Within weeks, people started calling me. The timeline shifted because my signature changed. The reality you call future is just a different frequency of now. There are infinite versions of you existing at this exact moment. There is a version of you who is a leader, a version of you who is an artist, a version of you who is a traveler. They are all on the air right now. You aren't creating them, you are perceiving them, and your ability to perceive them depends entirely on your dial. So, my friend, I want you to start auditing your frequency today. If your life was a radio station right now, what would be the name of the show? Is it The Daily Struggle or The Abundance Hour? Don't judge yourself for where you are. Just realize that you have your hand on the dial. You are the operator. You are the one who decides which version of reality gets to be broadcast in your physical life. In the next part, we're going to talk about the silent error that keeps people stuck and how to finally break free from it.
In this second part, we're going to uncover the silent mistake that keeps so many people stuck in a loop of wanting but never having, and how your identity is the true key to unlocking your best timeline. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? You're doing your affirmations, you have your vision board on your wall, you're trying to think positive, and yet nothing changes. Your bank account stays the same, your relationships feel stale, and you start to wonder if this law of attraction thing is actually real or if it's just a nice fairy tale. There is a very specific reason for this, and Bashar calls it the silent error. The error is this. Most people try to manifest from a state of wanting. They say, I want more money or I want a better house. On the surface, that sounds fine, but let's look at the frequency behind those words. When you say, I want, what is the underlying vibration? It's, I don't have. If you are vibrating, I don't have, the universe, which remember is a perfect mirror, can only give you more not having. You are literally telling the mirror, I am a person who lacks this. And the mirror says, correct, you are a person who lacks this. This is why so many people get stuck in the professional seeker phase. They are always seeking, always wanting, always waiting, but never arriving. Your best version doesn't want success. Your best version is success. Think about it. Does a person who has $10 million in the bank wake up every morning saying, I really hope I can find a way to be rich? No, they wake up with the internal assumption of wealth. It's part of their identity. It's as natural to them as breathing. To switch to that timeline, you have to move from the energy of wanting to the energy of being. Let me give you a very common example. I have a friend, let's call him Mike. Mike has been trying to grow his small business for years. He's always talking about how he needs more clients and how he wants to be a leader in his field. But when I talk to him, his energy is heavy with desperation. He's constantly checking his emails with a knot in his stomach, terrified that no one will hire him. His identity is the struggling business owner. Even when Mike does his affirmations in the morning, saying, "I am a successful entrepreneur," his gut is screaming, "No, you're not. Look at your bills." The universe doesn't listen to his morning affirmations. It listens to the 23 hours of desperation he feels the rest of the day. He's trying to put a success sticker on a failure engine. It just doesn't work that way. To fix this, you have to change your vibrational signature. You have to become the person who is compatible with the result you want. Bashar explains that you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. If you want to live in the timeline of your best version, you have to start showing up as that version right now, in the small things. Think about your daily routine. How does the best version of you make the bed in the morning? Do they do it with a sense of dread for the day ahead, or with a sense of order and peace? How do they treat the person at the coffee shop? Are they rushed and annoyed, or are they kind and present? These small moments are where your identity is built. If you are waiting for the big house or the big promotion to start feeling like your best version, you are caught in the trap. You are telling the universe that the outside world has the power to define who you are, but the truth is the exact opposite. Who you are defines the outside world.
I remember a period in my life when I was really struggling with my self-worth. I wanted to be respected and recognized in my work, but inside, I felt like an imposter. I was waiting for someone to give me a title or a big break so I could finally feel like I belonged. But the breaks never came. Why? Because I was vibrating imposter. I was synchronizing a timeline where I was always overlooked. The shift happened when I decided to claim my value first. I started to act with the authority and the grace of the person I wanted to become. I started to dress differently, not more expensively, but with more self-respect. I started to say no to things that didn't align with my higher path. I stopped wanting respect and started being a person who respects themselves. And almost like magic, the world around me began to shift. The people I met, the opportunities that showed up, the way I was treated, it all changed to match my new signature. This is the mirror effect in action. When you change the image in front of the mirror, the reflection has no choice but to follow. But you have to be consistent. You can't be your best version for 10 minutes during meditation and then go back to being your struggling version for the rest of the day. Bashar often says that beliefs are the blueprints of reality. What are your silent beliefs about money? Do you believe it's hard to get? Do you believe you don't deserve it? Do you believe that people like you don't become millionaires? These beliefs are like a glass ceiling that you've built over your own head. You can try to jump as high as you want, but you'll keep hitting that glass until you realize you're the one who put it there. The good news is that you can rewrite these beliefs. You can choose a new story. Instead of saying, "It's hard," start saying, "I am learning the mechanics of ease." Instead of saying, "I don't have enough," start noticing the abundance that is already here, the air in your lungs, the technology in your hands, the infinite possibilities of this very moment. When you start to acknowledge the abundance that is already present, you are telling the universe, "I am a match for more of this." You are shifting your dial from scarcity AM to gratitude FM. And that, my friend, is the fastest way to switch timelines. Your identity is a choice. Every single morning when you wake up, you have a split second where you can decide who you are going to be today. Are you going to be the old version with the old problems and the old stories? Or are you going to step into the skin of the best version, the one who is already calm, already wealthy, and already free? The choice is yours.
The timeline is waiting, but you have to be the one to step through the door. You have to be willing to let go of the person you were to become the person you are truly meant to be. In the next part, we're going to talk about how to use your internal GPS, your higher mind, to guide you through this process without getting lost in the fear. In this third part, we're going to understand how your mind is actually divided into two parts and how you can stop trying to figure everything out alone by using your internal GPS. One of the biggest sources of anxiety when we try to change our lives is the feeling that we have to figure out every single step of the way. We think we need to know how the money will come, how the client will find us, or how the relationship will fix itself. But here is the liberating truth from Bashar. Your physical mind was never designed to know how. It was only designed to perceive the result. Think of your consciousness like a modern car. Your physical mind is the pair of headlights. When you're driving at night, those headlights only show you the next 20 or 30 feet in front of you. They can't see over the hill, they can't see around the corner, and they certainly can't see the destination miles away. If you rely only on the headlights to know the whole route, you'll be terrified the entire drive. But inside that same car, you have a GPS connected to a satellite. That satellite is your higher mind. The higher mind is up there in the quantum space, looking down at the entire map. It sees the traffic jams before you get to them. It knows the shortcuts. It sees the destination and every possible path to get there. Your only job as the driver is to trust the GPS and take the next turn the headlights show you. I see this struggle so often in my work. I remember a client who came to me feeling completely burnt out. She was an architect trying to transition into a more creative, independent career. She was paralyzed because she couldn't see the bridge. She kept asking, "How will I pay my mortgage? Which company should I call first? What if I fail?" She was trying to make her headlights see 100 miles ahead. Her physical mind was crashing because it was being asked to do a job it wasn't built for. I told her exactly what I'm telling you now. You have to delegate the how to your higher mind. Your higher mind communicates through a very specific language, and that language is excitement. Most people think excitement is just a fleeting emotion, but in the mechanics of reality, excitement is a high-tech tool. It is the signal from your higher mind saying, "This path, this is the shortcut, this aligns with your best version." When you follow your excitement, even in small things like picking up a specific book or calling an old friend, you are following the GPS. This client finally decided to test this. Instead of stressing over her 5-year plan, she started following what felt light and exciting in the moment. She took a weekend workshop that had nothing to do with architecture, just because it felt fun. At that workshop, she met someone who eventually became her biggest business partner. Her physical mind could have never planned that. The headlights didn't see it, but the GPS did. You see, the physical mind is like the crew on a ship. They are great at making sure the deck is clean and the engines are running, but the higher mind is the captain standing on the bridge with the telescope. If the crew tries to steer the ship based only on what they see from the deck, they'll hit an iceberg. They have to trust the captain's vision. In the US, we are so conditioned to hustle and grind that we've forgotten how to receive guidance. We think that if we aren't sweating and stressing, we aren't working. But manifesting your best version is about coherence, not struggle. It's about aligning your physical actions with the directions of your higher mind.
So, how do you practically listen to this GPS? You look at the options in front of you right now. Not next year, not next month, but now. You choose the one that has the most shimmer or excitement, and you take it as far as you can until you can take it no further. You don't need a guarantee of the result. You just need the next step. When you do this, you are telling the universe, "I trust the captain." You are shifting your identity from a stressed-out worker to a conscious co-creator. You stop being the person who has to force doors open and start being the person for whom doors open automatically. Remember, your higher mind loves you. It wants you to live that millionaire version of yourself even more than you do. It's constantly sending you pings through your intuition, your gut feelings, and those little sparks of joy. When you ignore your joy to do what you think is practical, you are essentially turning off your GPS and driving into the dark. If you are feeling lost right now, it's probably because you've been listening to the noise of the physical mind, the fear, the logic, the what ifs. I want to invite you to quiet that noise. Realize that you don't have to carry the weight of the world. You just have to drive the next 20 feet that your headlights are showing you. Trust that the satellite sees the finish line. Trust that your best version is already pulling you toward it, like a magnet. In the next and final part, we're going to talk about how to deal with the portal of fear, that moment when you're right on the edge of a breakthrough and everything seems to go wrong, and how to finally stabilize yourself in your new timeline. In this final part, we're going to talk about the portal of fear, that critical moment that happens right before your big leap, and how you can finally stabilize your energy in your best timeline. Have you ever noticed that at the exact moment you decide to change your life, when you take on a new project or commit to a mindset of abundance, everything around you seems to start falling apart? Maybe an unexpected bill shows up, an appliance breaks down, or someone close to you starts questioning your choices. Bashar calls this the portal of fear. And let me tell you something, this is not a sign that you are failing. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. It is the technical sign that you are right on the edge of a major quantum leap. Think of an airplane taking off. The moment of greatest resistance, greatest vibration, and greatest fuel consumption happens precisely when it is leaving the ground. Once it reaches a certain altitude, everything becomes smooth. When you try to leave your old version behind, your limiting beliefs and your ego will try to pull you back into the safety of the basement. They will use fear, doubt, and physical evidence from the world to convince you that the new timeline isn't real. The ego hates the unknown, even if the unknown is your financial freedom. I remember a client I saw in an archetype consultancy. She was transitioning to a much more ambitious and prosperous career. She had done all the internal work, she was vibrating high, and suddenly she lost a source of income that, although small, was guaranteed. She panicked. She told me, "Vanessa, the law of attraction failed me." But I explained to her what I'm telling you now. This is not a failure. It is the universe clearing the space for the bigger version of you. The old timeline had to crumble so the new one could solidify. She stayed in the frequency of trust, did not react to fear, and in less than 2 weeks, a contract appeared that paid triple what she had lost. To stabilize in your best version, you must stop being an echo of your past. Most people look at their current reality and say, "I'll only believe I'm successful when I see the proof." But that's reacting to an echo. What you see around you now is just the result of your thoughts from yesterday. It's old news. If you react to the old news, you end up recreating it. To stay in the new timeline, you must respond to life from the perspective of the person you are becoming. When a challenge arises, stop and ask yourself, how would my millionaire and fulfilled version handle this? That version wouldn't panic. That version would see the problem as a passing calibration. When you respond with that level of calm, you are literally locking in the new coordinates on your radio. You are telling the mirror of reality, "I don't care what you're showing me now. I know who I am." This is the secret of what Bashar calls vibrational coherence. It's about being so aligned with your inner truth that the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself to match you. You never had to become your best version. You always were that version. You just spent a long time pretending to be someone smaller, someone limited by circumstances. I had a client who was afraid to invest in her own growth because she was stuck in the "what if it doesn't work" frequency. We worked on her identity to become the woman who already manages an empire. As soon as she started making decisions from that place, fear turned into fuel. She stopped asking permission from her bank account and started giving orders to her reality through her vibration. Now, I want you to do something powerful. Declare your new timeline. Act on what brings you the most excitement, with zero expectation of the immediate result. Trust your higher mind.
Remember, the universe doesn't function based on rewards or punishments. It functions by resonance. If you vibrate it, you inhabit it. You are the master of your dial. It's time to listen to the music you were born to hear. Whenever you feel like you're slipping back into the old frequency, remember the GPS example we talked about earlier. The fact that you haven't arrived at your destination yet doesn't mean the GPS is wrong. It just means your physical car is still in motion. Keep your hands on the wheel, keep the frequency high, and don't turn back just because you saw a dark cloud on the horizon. The cloud is part of the landscape, but your destination is the sun. Your best version is watching you now, full of pride for the courage you are having to change the station. That version knows you can do it. They know you are capable. The portal is open, and all you need to do is walk through it with your head held high and your heart full of certainty. The time of waiting is over. The time of access has begun. Think about the most successful version of you. How do they wake up? How do they drink their coffee? They don't wake up in a rush, they wake up in gratitude. They don't look at their phone first thing to see if a miracle happened. They wake up knowing they are the miracle. Start mirroring those small habits. If your best version is organized, start by organizing your desk. If your best version is generous, start by giving a genuine compliment to someone today. These are the anchors that hold you in the new timeline when the wind of the old reality tries to blow you away. You are the architect, the builder, and the resident of your reality. Bashar's message is a reminder of your innate power. Don't let the density of the physical world fool you. It is much more malleable than you think. All it takes is a steady heart and a clear frequency. You've got this. Before we wrap up, I want to truly thank you for staying with me until the very end. Thank you for watching and for being part of this journey with us. It means the world to have your presence here as we explore these shifts in consciousness. If this video helped you see things differently, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep growing and sharing these messages. Also, check out the description below for the books I recommend and the free PDF on mirror hours to help you stay in sync with your new timeline. Thank you again for being here. Start living as your best version today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.